So sometimes your garden goes really, really well, and then occasionally you have some issues with your garden and it doesn't do exactly what you want it to do. And this year is one of those years where I am definitely having some challenges and some issues, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm working my way through it and I will survive. So, obviously, like right here, I've got some berries that are growing all over the place and they're probably going to take over at some point, and I'll just have to let them be. Back here in this back spot, there are some potatoes. They're getting close to dying off, and so I will harvest those out once they die off. But as you can see, this comfrey that I have been trying to get rid of for a few years just won't die. And so I'm going to have to get really creative in what I do to get rid of this. And probably have to take some drastic measures that I don't truly want to do in my garden, but I'm going to have to because that's going to be the only way that I can get rid of it. I didn't know, like, it is very, it's a medicinal plant, and so it's very good for sprains and strains and things like that. However, it is also, as you can see, pretty invasive and it tries to take over everything. So, like I said, I'm going to have to get super creative after I harvest my potatoes and go in and really just do some things that'll actually destroy it. And probably have to replace all of the soil in these beds after the fact because of what I'm going to need to do to get this stuff out of here. So, over here are my peppers, and as you can see, the peppers are actually doing a bit better. They were really slow, and peppers are always traditionally very slow to grow. So just so you can see, I've got a lot of greenery, a lot of foliage. Most of these plants, some of these are still really, really tiny, but most of these are actually doing really well. And so I'm okay there. Corn, I tried a couple of times. It's a little bit of a bust, so I'm just letting it be. I don't have the strength to to try more this year and try to get some corn. So I'll try it again next year and just go from there. These little bags have okra, so those plants are growing and doing okay. Right here, so if you haven't noticed, something has been getting into my garden and munching away at all of my veggies, and I'm just trying to stay positive, but something has gotten in several times and munched down even all of my green beans. And so there's new leaves growing, so I haven't pulled them completely out, but I am really not happy at whatever little critter is getting in either early in the morning or overnight and making a meal out of my green bean plants. Over here are my tomatoes, and they're actually doing pretty well. This one has my trellis. I still have to put the other trellis up, but this trellis is actually doing really well, and all the tomatoes are growing as I want them to. I've even got some super long and very healthy tomatoes that are growing here, and so as you can see, I've got a lot of fruit setting. This little guy I can actually take off if I chose to, but yeah, these are doing, like I said, really well. Look at that one, how many tomatoes are growing up that stalk, right? So same thing over here, there's a lot of hidden tomatoes in there. And then these front guys, lots of tomatoes on this plant. This is where I'm starting to see like where a lot of my problems with my visitor, nighttime visitor. So this morning, come out to this, and he must have been extra hungry because there was even another cucumber back here that he completely ate down to like the nub. But my cucumber trellis is really starting to fill in. Everything's starting to go up and over, so I'm pretty happy, except for the lunch that some critter has decided to make of a lot of my food. Same thing over here. A lot of my sweet potatoes, it ate them down to the nub. And then right here, made a meal of this cucumber as well. So, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, over here I've got some more tomato plants that need to be trellised, and I will get that posted up here soon, just because the trellis needs to happen sooner rather than later. My squash, so I have been officially attacked by squash vine borers, and don't think that I'm going to get very much more squash out of my plants going forward. So I'll be taking that little squash, and I ended up with 3 yellow squash for the season. Yeah, that's what's going on right now with the garden. Just wanted to share. Jackson wants to share his voice as well, so, you know, pay attention to him a little bit. But yeah, that's what's going on with the garden. Like I said, a little disheartened just because of whatever critter keeps trying to get in here and make a meal out of my food as well. You know, typically I'm happy to share, but right now I'm not. So it's a little painful to see all of the hard work and effort, and then, you know, a critter comes in and just munches everything away. All right, happy gardening. Bye.